Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 17 of Saturday Movie Night. Welcome, patrons. Welcome. Come all, come in, come all, come hither, come all. What the hell is that saying? I forget what it is now. Hey, folks, how you doing? Dave McRae here. Hey, listen, if you are tuning in after the fact, if this is, because this was initially a live broadcast, this is Saturday Movie Night. This is a level number 2 and 3 exclusive on my Patreon. Now, if you want to have an opportunity to vote on the movie that I watch, basically at the end of every month, usually the last Saturday of every month, we do a Saturday movie night. And about a week before that, I put up a 6 movies now. We've graduated to 6 now. It was 5. Now we've graduated to 6 here in 2020. And I put up a poll on which movie you guys want me to watch. And if you're part of level number 3, you have an opportunity to vote on the movie that you want me to watch and talk about and give commentary on. And of course, you can watch with me if you have the movie at home on DVD or VHS or Blu-ray or the wood-burning TV or whatever the hell it is. Now, but if you're part of my level number 2 on my Patreon, you can also join in on the live feed. Now, you don't have the opportunity to vote. That's exclusive to level number 3, but you can certainly tune into the live feed after the fact. And then once it's all done, once the live feed is done, it goes right up onto my channel for everybody to enjoy and watch. So if that's something you think that, you might be interested in, you can check out my Patreon. The link is in the description below. And today, it is Saturday, February the 29th, leap year. It's a leap year, folks. We're leaping. I froze. I'm back. I froze there for a second. That was actually funny. I froze on the... It probably sounded like this if you're watching after the fact. That's probably what it was. Oh my goodness. But I am back. Yeah, we're watching Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare. Or A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 6, Freddy's Dead, released in 1991. How is everybody doing? My patrons in the chat room. Tabitha Short is here. Tommy Ricknell is here. David is here. Frank the Tank is here. The Badass Ninja is here. Great to see you guys in the chat room. Maybe some more will roll on in throughout the hour, or the hour and a half, I guess, because it's about an hour and a half film, I guess. So yeah, Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare. Look, I put a list up, but this is the one that won. This is the one. So if you've got it, watch along with me. This is arguably well, it is. I think it's my least favorite in the franchise. This is going to be a fun one, folks. This is going to be a fun one. Frank says they saved the best for last. My foot. Yeah, really. Oh, by the way, Frank, I did get your message yesterday. I responded to you. Let me know if you want me to respond to you on Patreon instead. Maybe that's easier for you because I know you're not a big social media guy. So just let me know and I will do that for you. Jacqueline McEwen is here. See, Jacqueline McEwen is a level number 2, right? So, she's tuning in as well. So, hey, if that's something you're thinking about, think about that. Jacqueline McEwen is here. Great to have Jacqueline here, of course. Big horror fan, big supporter of the channel. And yeah, we're watching Freddy's Dead. Now, before we start, this is really interesting. I don't know if you guys know this, and I had to brush up on my Freddy's Dead knowledge because it's been a while. And once I started to read a bit about it, I was like, oh yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, that's right. Because things doesn't, doesn't stick in my head. But according to Wikipedia, and I was like, oh yeah, that's right. Listen to this. In the original script for Freddy's Dead, 15-year-old Jacob Johnson, son of the previous installment's main character Alice Johnson, is the major character, and many of the Dream Warriors from A Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors return to aid Jacob in defeating Freddy after he kills Alice. The idea was later discarded. That's interesting. I mean, that almost feels more... Now, who knows? It may have been a dog fucking shit show, right? It may have been absolute ass. But just reading that almost like it's a log line. Almost, it kind of feels like it's more in line with the continuity of what they've been building, if you know what I mean. Very interesting to say the least. That's not what they went with. Peter Jackson, that's right, Lord of the Rings, the Hobbit guy. Peter Jackson also wrote a screenplay that was not used. His story was about teenagers who did not see Freddy as a threat and took sleeping pills to enter Freddy's world. Jackson's script, also included a police officer put into a comatose state to permanently be in Freddy's realm. Fascinating. I think I would like to have seen the other one more. I mean, or maybe mix and match. Maybe take some of it and kind of mix and match from both worlds. Kind of, I don't know what the fuck we got, but I can't believe that this is no, fuck that shit, man. Let's do this one instead. Let's get Roseanne Barr and Tom Arnold in there, man. Come on. Anyway, let's do this. All right, let's do this. What do we got here? Frank says Patreon. Okay, I will do that, Frank. I will do that. Okay, let's do this. Now, I am paused at I have New Line Cinema up on my screen. So if you guys want to get to that point, that's where I have it. New Line Cinema is up on the screen, all right? That's where I have it right now. I'll give you a couple of seconds to line up your movie in that area. And let's do that. Okay. All right. Looks like I think everybody's there. Okay, you're there. I mean, hell, you can always pause. Well, I guess you can't do that now, but you can, after the fact, you can always pause me and get ready. Anyway, okay, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Freddy's dead. There's this music. I'm not a big fan of horror movies starting with this kind of like 80s rock music. I just don't like it. Do you know the terror of who falls asleep? To the very toes he is terrified, because the ground gives way under him and the dream begins. That's the quote that comes up on the screen. Welcome to prime time, bitch. Freddy Krueger. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't know. Just not my thing. I mean, I get that by this time in the series, by this time it's 1991, by this time, this is just the slasher genre was largely dead in 1991. It really was. You know, I was talking about this the other day when I watched the Candyman trailer, and I was never really a big Candyman guy. I liked the first one. It was okay. I didn't like the second one. But by the time Candyman came out in 92 or 3 or whatever it was, the slasher genre was largely dead. I mean, this is, but anyway, here we are, 1991, the final nightmare. Famous last words. We're on a plane. Strange way to begin this. It's like it just became one big carnival act, really, is what this movie became. It was just it wasn't really about scaring people anymore. It was more about and this happened by like part 4, you know what I mean? But this is taking it to a new level. I mean, in a couple of seconds here we have, or not a couple of seconds, in a few minutes, I should say, we have Freddy Krueger on a broomstick. I don't think he does that, but he certainly laughs. It's like, what the fuck, man? Are you serious? Anyway, scene here on the plane. That's where I am. Let's get it over with. Yeah, I hear you, Frank. Let's fucking do this. All right, buckle up. Stack 'em, pack 'em, and rack 'em. Oh, man. I'm extra thirsty. Oh, gotta have the creepy girl in there. I mean, this could be I get that it's Freddy and it's Elm Street, but this, in theory, could be any dream sequence. I mean, I'm not afraid of flying, but I think we're all afraid of dying flying, right? So, you could put this in anything. Actually, a great Wes Craven thriller. You guys have probably seen it, know about it. Rachel McAdams, Cillian Murphy. Is that how you say his name? I think it's Cillian. I think that's who it is. 2005's Red Eye. It's a good movie. Here he is. He's just crashed through the bottom of the airplane, falling. And of course, he's going to fall into the Springwood. I mean, it's a cool dream sequence, right? Like, it's cool. but it's not scary. It's just, it's like I'm watching it's almost like I'm watching a spoof. I feel like I'm almost watching a spoof. You know what I mean? It's kind of strange. Tab of the Short says, when was the last time you watched this, Dave? Oh, probably about maybe 2 years ago or so. I finally picked up all the Elm Street films on Blu-ray about 2 or 3 years ago, and I decided to watch them all like on a Saturday when I was sick or something. So that was probably when I last saw it. Maybe 2017, maybe. And it was just as dog shit as I remember. Like, the visuals are cool, right? The visuals are cool. I mean, you can have, it looks cool. I love the production design, the set design. Like, if you imagine this is not a Nightmare on Elm Street, this is some other weird kind of fucked up movie, it's cool shit. It's cool shit even in an Elm Street film, but there's nothing scary about it. Oh, here it is. Here it is. There he is. Oh, he is laughing. There is a laugh. Right, I'll get you my pretty. That's right, I forgot.
I'll get you, my pretty, and your little soul, too.
What the fuck is this? Freddy, what the hell is... I guess I just didn't like where they took Freddy. You know what I mean? Like, I thought Freddy should have remained in the very dark, ominous, very scary realm. It doesn't mean that he can't have a line here or there. Like, that's fine. You know what I mean? Because it gives him some personality. But by the time you get to 5 and 6, you know, even 4, but 4 is the real beginning of it. But it's just really, he's just a carnival barker. He's not scary. He's just the guy that just shows up at the end to kind of just go and finish you off, you know? And then really the movies became about what sort of sensational dream sequence can we do? You know what I mean? And they're cool. Like, they're cool to look at, but it's more haunted house fun, like amusement park scary. You know what I mean? That's what it is, you know? But the first two are not amusement park scary. They're genuinely like, fuck. Like, you know, I don't know about you, but the last time I was at a haunted house amusement park, there wasn't some guy coming out of my chest. You know what I mean? Or fucking like, I wasn't being dragged on a wall and being slashed and Tina! Like, that's the shit, man. That's the shit. This is just like, it's like I'm watching Scary Movie or something. That's kind of how it feels like to me. David says, we can thank Rachel. I always get it. Is it Talalay? For this. What a mistake it was to promote her to being in charge. Yeah, she's been part of the Elm Street franchise for a while. And certainly I get the decision. Like, it's somebody who's been there. I just don't like her movie. I'm at the part now, of course, where am I here? I am 6 minutes, 30 seconds into the movie. What's his face is just falling down the hill. He's still dreaming. This whole fucking thing's like, this whole thing's a dream, and it's cool, right? It's like video game cool. You know what I mean? It's video game cool, spoof movie cool, fan film cool. Not that fan films are bad. I just mean like sensational kind of fan film. Like, imagine this kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, they are, I will say this, they are very dreamlike. The problem is that what I really appreciate, there's Bob Shea. Oh, Bob. Why, Bob? Why? Bob Shea's in the little kiosk there. Here comes the truck. That is funny, though. Look at the way Freddy is driving this. I think the thing that, I don't know. Was he afraid of...
No screaming while the boss is in motion.
Fuck. Again, did you hear the sound when his head hit the rock? It's like, fuck, man. And look at this. I love that visual. That's what it is. It's like Who Framed Roger Rabbit type of shit. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's what this movie's like. It's almost like I'm watching Who Framed Roger Rabbit. It's that kind of cartoon.
Now be a good little doggy.
You know, it just feels very It's just shit. It's dog shit. It's dog shit. Let me go over to the camera here. Oh, man. And this music, like, get it out of here. It's funny. It's so funny how, like, you look at where the series begins and you look at where it ends, like where it ended up. It's so different. Like it. Oh, there. Oh, fuck! I forgot I switched cameras. It doesn't feel. It's so different. Like the aesthetic, the tone, the style. You know, it's very early 90s almost, and it's just like this wasn't a scary film at all. This was dog shit. And I know that's why you guys voted for it. Tommy Ricknell says Freddy sounds just like Goofy from Disney. A little bit, yeah. It's just so like, again, I almost feel like I'm watching a like Who Framed Roger Rabbit / a spoof movie / I don't know, like a Ernest Visits Elm Street. Like, that's almost what this is like. You know, Ernest Visits Elm Street. I think that's sort of how I kind of feel about it. Isn't that Breckin Meyer? Is that Breckin Meyer? If it's not, then I think that's Breckin Meyer. Jesus. Frank Riker says, I have to say one thing about Nightmare on Elm Street, the house is consistent. Yeah, that's true. Yep. Yeah, they kept the house consistent. They absolutely did. And you know what? You can say the same thing about Friday the 13th. It is, Tab of the Short says. Okay. Because that's what, David and Jacqueline say it. Okay, cool. You know, you're absolutely right. I mean, even with Friday the 13th, as Tony Michael has often said, as dog shit as some of those movies became, they were all within the same timeline in continuity. How? I don't know. How Jason Goes to Manhattan is the same Jason from part 4 and 3. I have no idea, but it is. And you can say the same thing about Elm Street, right? It's all within the same. How this Freddy is the same Freddy from part 1 and 2, I don't know, but it is. You can't say that about Halloween. Halloween kept going, oh, well. Freddy's daughter. We have a session today, yes. Tab the Short says, when I see Breckin Meyer, it makes me think of Road Trip. Yeah, I was just going to say that. Yeah, he was in a couple of late 90s, early 2000 kind of teeny college bopper sort of shit. Teeny bopper. What is this, 1958, Dave? Yeah, this is garbage. This is just like, anyway. Frank Riker says, is Lisa Zane related to Billy? I don't know. That's a good question. Come on, man. Come on, I call it chicken, man. Oh, that's right. The hearing aid guy. I forgot about the hearing aid guy. Yeah, fuck. Freddy. Let's see. Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare made $12,966,525 in its opening weekend, which was the highest opening weekend of the series until the release of Freddy vs. Jason, and the biggest September opening at that time. At that time. It was the biggest September opening. After its initial run, the film grossed a total of $34,872,033 in the United States and Canada, making it the 5th highest grossing film of all time. No, I'm just kidding. The 5th highest grossing film in the series. Fascinating. Reviews for the film were generally negative, and some critics named it one of the worst films of 1991. No doubt it was. It currently holds a 20% positive rating on Rotten Tomatoes based on 30 reviews. Oh, God. Austin Chronicle wrote, Freddy Krueger has devolved from the horrific, ill-defined phantasm positioned in the original film into a bland and annoyingly predictable boogeyman loved by kids everywhere. That's a great way to say it. That's a great way to say it. Well, I'm just looking at myself. I need a shave. And but that's it. I mean, that's, it is. It's so it's not scary. It's just garbage. Yeah, Frank says, I still have my 3D glasses from the theater of the old paper. Yeah, that's right. This movie, the last, there's that moment towards the end of the movie where it's in 3D. And I think there was even something that came on the screen or something that told you to put your 3D glasses on, or when she puts her 3D glasses on or whatever. Dog shit, man. Dog shit. Maggie. Oh, Maggie. Sorry, something came in there. It was an email from my agent, but we're good. Everything's fine. Cinematography's nice. It's all right. So what's everybody's favorite nightmare on... what is your favorite? What's the one that you enjoy the most while we sit here and watch Freddy's daughter have a conversation with this guy who had a dream? Frank Riker says she is one sexy social worker, though. She's very attractive. Yes, she is. Yep. Not very pretty. She's got the Daisy Dukes on. No. Can you imagine? Frank says part 2. Very cool. Part 2 is Frank's favorite. Hey, that's awesome. David says part 1 is his favorite. Tommy Ricknell says Freddy's Revenge is my personal favorite. That's so cool. That's awesome. That's awesome. Ooh. It's like a mystery. Like she has to figure, because she doesn't know she's Freddy's daughter here yet, right? I don't think she knows she's Freddy's daughter yet. I think she discovers this later on, right? I think so anyway. Tabitha Short says, my favorite Nightmare on Elm Street is the first. My second is New Nightmare. Very cool, Tabitha. My favorite is the first, followed by the second, followed maybe even by the third. It might be in that order. And then I leapfrog over 4, 5, and 6 and go right to probably New Nightmare. There are moments in 4 that I actually don't mind. There's moments in 4 that I don't mind. But as a whole, I'm not a fan of the movie at all. And 5 I just think is garbage. And 6 I think is even worse than garbage. And it's just like, fuck. That looks like the Warner Brothers Tower, but without the Warner Brothers logo on it. I wonder if it is. I wonder if this was the back lot at Warner Brothers. Because I've been there a couple times, so that looks very similar to the Warner Brothers water. I mean, it might not be. They may have shot this. That could be the back lot. I could totally see this being the back lot. Was it owned by Warner Brothers back then? No, it's new. Well, New Line, but New Line may have. Yeah, was it distributed by Warner? I didn't see Warner Brothers pop up though. Maybe not. Maybe it was somewhere else. Who knows? But it does look like that. The Badass Ninja says, to be honest, I don't mind this film. For me, it's better than New Nightmare. I find New Nightmare confusing and weird. Well, New Nightmare is definitely, Chris, it is a very meta approach. It's very cerebral. It's a very breaking of the fourth wall. There are a lot of, it is a very deep layered film, not just in terms of what they're trying to present, but it's the idea of the movie itself, right? It breaks away from the traditional way of telling the narrative and paints the Elm Street series as sort of a fictional franchise. And now you're watching sort of a fictional version of the fictional version of the actors playing themselves, pretending like they're playing fictional versions of themselves. It's almost like the sitcom King of Queens, right? You guys remember that one where Lou Ferrigno was their next door neighbor? Well, Lou Ferrigno was playing himself, but he wasn't playing himself. He was playing a fictional version of himself. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like that, where they're all playing themselves, but they're playing fictional versions of themselves in this world where the Elm Street series is actually fake. You know what I mean? And then it becomes a reality, and but it's good. Once you can grab onto it, it's a real interesting approach that sort of, in some ways, laid the foundation and gave Craven maybe that courage to take more of that out-of-the-box approach with Scream 2 years later. Frank Riker says, lucky he isn't under a bunk bed with that dripping. Yeah, I totally agree. Fuck. I remember a water tower. Who the hell, and that's part of the problem. Although I do understand it, it's one of the main problems that I always found with Elm. Not so much with Friday the 13th, because Friday the 13th sort of, the whole identity of it being the campground and people, you would naturally think that new people would come into the campground, or 5 years would go by and there would be new people that you would have to. And just the way it was, I just didn't really get too emotionally attached to anybody, I guess. But Elm Street almost felt like it needed a main protagonist. We got rid of Heather, and then in comes Alice. And then we get, of course, first it's what's her face? Oh God, why am I drawing a blank on her name? Anyway, the blonde from Elm Street 3, major brain fart here for some reason. It was her, right? And then, of course, and then she goes. And then we have, Alice, right, who comes in, and then she goes. And it doesn't feel like, it feels very sort of, I don't know, just kind of like, I don't give a fuck about these kids. I don't care. And I wonder how Elm Street would have done. And again, not that Patricia Arquette, thank you, Tommy, that's it. Not that it would have, that's right, Kristen. Not that it would have, I mean, listen, bad movies are bad movies. Just because you carry over, just because Jamie Lee Curtis was in Halloween Resurrection at the beginning doesn't mean it was phenomenal. I mean, let's be honest here. But I just like that's one thing that Elm Street really never had. I don't know. There's just so many ways, there's so many things that you could have done if you'd gone back. Funny meeting you here. I'm Breckenmeyer. I'm very short, but I'm going to be in a bunch of college movies in a couple of years. He's very short. Isn't he only like 5'4" or something? Something like that. And now here they all are. Oh, this is where they are. They're all in the shitty bus together. Don't scream at me. So we have the Johnny Depp type. We have the Kristen type, right? Is there a Nancy type in there? I don't know. Well, I guess maybe her daughter would be kind of like Nancy type. His daughter, I mean, right? Strong, educated. If you think about it, brunette. Oh, is this where fucking... Oh, this is such a... This is so bad. Imagine coming across a fair like this. Oh, it's not even a fair. It's like just a weird, hick, awkward. Like imagine coming across. You're driving and you come across this. It's like, what the fuck is this? I'd be getting a tetanus shot afterwards. It's like weird and sloppy and like I'm expecting to see people eating shit. And well, there you go. Look at that pizza right there. It's so like, what is this? It's like ghetto, like so ghetto. Look at this one guy driving a bumper car around. I love it. And I get, it's supposed to be like that, but I just mean like, why would you even go? I wouldn't spend more than 8 seconds. I'd be like, this is dumb. Come on, let's go. David says, here comes Roseanne. Yup, there she is. You know things are bad when Tom Arnold and Roseanne Barr are in your horror movie. Essentially playing almost fictional versions of themselves. Essentially. Like, think about this. When was the last time we saw Freddy? Okay, we haven't seen Freddy in a while. Like, what is this? What? We got Roseanne, and in comes Tom Arnold. What the fuck is this? Like, just and listen to the music. Boom, 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 boom. I am watching a spoof. I feel like I'm watching Scary Movie. Or some, like, Jumanji episode. Like I feel like I'm watching, like, we're in Jumanji or something. Like, we're in the video game. You know, that's a very good idea. Yeah, it is a good idea, you sack of shit. Oh, my God. Yeah, let's see what they can tell us at school, because this whole area is completely normal. Nobody's batting an eye. Nobody's like, well, that was kind of fucking weird. Nobody said to Roseanne, get the fuck off me. What are you doing, bitch? Like, what the hell are you doing? Get out of here. No, they just take it. They just take it. This fat, weird woman comes over to you. Oh, hi. And they're just like, what are you doing? And I'd be like, what the fuck? Get off me. I'd shove her away, push her away. Like, what the hell is this? No, it's completely normal. All these kids, it's normal. It's normal. Listen to that music, yeah. This is a scary movie so far, isn't it? This is really scary. God, it's dog shit. But hey, like I've always said, if you like the movie, if you enjoy the movie, if you think this is a great movie, you're entitled to feel that way. I don't agree. I just don't understand. But if you enjoy it, that's all that matters. What the fuck is that? I can relax you with these two fingers. I'll just punch you in the heart. The hell? Tommy Ricknell says, for all you in the chat, your favorite of these classics, H5, Freddy's Dead, or Halloween Resurrection? I would rather watch Halloween 5. I think it's because Freddy's Dead, well, I just don't like it. It's just not a good movie. It's just not scary. I just don't like it. It's just, it's a carnival fun spoof is what it is. It's gone into just spoof territory. Just dumb. And Resurrection, I just think is just, yeah, I just don't like the movie either. 5, I'd rather watch because although 5 is dog shit, it's got Donald Pleasance in it. It's got some good atmosphere. Do you know what I mean? It's got some good music. So I enjoy the what's left of it feeling like Halloween. And that you know, I don't like the story. I don't like the characters. I don't like how the shape was utilized, and it's just awful. It's a terrible movie. It's arguably the worst in the franchise. But out of those 3, I would probably find the most enjoyment watching H5. But again, it's not like it's like this. I mean, it's, you know, it's marginal, but still, you know, it's like a horse race. Like, you know, this, you know. What's going on here? Look at all these maps.
You're fucked, fucker.
You might as well have just said that. Or he just woke up. Like, I will say, the one thing that I do like, I just wish the movies were better, the dream sequences are always cool. They're always very visually cool. And they're supposed to eventually at some point, tap into the, you know, the vulnerabilities and the fears of the characters that are having them, right? Because they're dealing with a lot of the subconscious fears that these characters have. And although they really start to, you know, over exaggerate, I like more of the grounded, nuanced approach like in the first couple. But I will say that it's you know, they're always fun to watch. The dream sequences are always fun to watch. They're certainly not boring. What the fuck is this teacher doing in here? conveniently just has everything all ready to go. Tommy Ricknell says, oh, I forgot to mention Jason Takes Manhattan. Well, I'd still say H5. Jason Takes Manhattan, I actually don't think is the worst in the franchise. I think that's Freddy Goes to Hell. Jason Goes to Hell. Jason Goes to Hell, where now people are eating his body parts. The fuck is that? What the fuck is that? Oh my God, it's terrible. It's terrible. So no, I don't like that movie at all. I actually think that Jason Goes to Hell is worse than Jason Takes Manhattan. And Jason Takes Manhattan is really, really bad. So take that for what you will. But so at the scene now where what's her face and what's his face and his characters. Let me get the characters' names. What do we got here? Oh, that's right. I forgot Alice Cooper was in this. What's her name? Oh, okay. Oh, Lisa Zane. Right. That's right. Ooh, who wrote that one? Freddy came back to look for more. Oh, you fucking genius, you. There's no way out. Not with you driving. Not with you driving. Tabitha Short says, so is this Jake Doe kid actually the last of the Elm Street kids? That's what I always thought. I always thought it was kind of underwhelming. Like, really? This kid? Like, where was this kid, like, throughout all the other movies? I don't know. Tabitha Short follows up with, and if he is, who the hell are his parents? Exactly. I agree. I never thought the Elm Street series, I'll be honest with you. I never thought the Elm Street series did a good job with the Elm Street kids. I think I just never thought they did a good job with that. It felt, I never got a good sense of where Elm Street was. I mean, I know where Elm Street was in terms of the towns, but I just never got a good sense of the neighborhood. I never got a good sense of what kids were having them, who were these parents, who are these kids, we're always introduced to them at the beginning of every new movie or something. And it's just like, who are these kids? Like, how many of them are there, and like 7 or 8 years ago by and there's more kids. And it's just kind of like, really? Like, so I guess these kids were like 8 or 9 when Heather and Tina were getting fucked up. You know what I mean? Or, and technically, and now they're teenagers. I think that's sort of what they wanted you to believe. But I never really, it always felt kind of confusing to me. But maybe that's because I'm not a big fan of the later sequels. And if I'm going to watch an Elm Street film, I tend to watch 1, 2, 3, and I almost said Dylan's New Nightmare. That will be one I'll be watching. New Nightmare. I might pop in 4. I might. But I never pop in 5 and I never pop in 6 because I just don't like them. And I rarely pop in 4. So if I'm only popping in 1, 2, and 3, really at the end of the day, and New Nightmare on occasion, I admit there might be some things that I am missing. Continuity that sort of maybe explains all that, but I always found it a little sort of weird and strange. To me, anyway. Tabitha Short says, with all the Elm Street kids throughout the series, you'd think that the series, that as the series moves along, the kids have to be older. Well, oh, for sure. Well, that's what I mean by like, maybe these kids here, or this guy here, whoever the last is of the Elm Street kids, right? He was maybe like, 7 or 8 when the original Elm Street was, happening. You know what I mean? So technically he's a kid, but he's not really having the dreams yet because he's not a teenager, or he was having the dreams, but Freddy decided to focus on Nancy and hit her friends instead or something. I don't know. I mean, let's be honest here. There was no answer to that. They make it up as they go along. So that's why a lot of the times they're filling in gaps as they go, trying to explain things. And sometimes it doesn't feel organic because it was never set out to be that way from the beginning. So sometimes, things feel sort of shoehorned in or unexplained or weak, you know what I mean? Or kind of strange. Because the last of the Elm Street kids essentially were Tina and Nancy and Glenn, and that was it, and then of course we find out the last of the Elm Street kids were the kids in the beginning of Elm Street 3. But no, this guy is the last of and then there's more in 4 and 5. It's like, well, I don't get it. I don't get it either, but it happens. It is. There's absolutely nothing scary about this movie at all. Nothing. As far as I'm concerned, this should just be called A Surreal Dream on Elm Street. That's what it should be called, A Surreal Dream on Elm Street. Not a fan of it. And, again, and I sincerely mean this. I really do. Making movies is fucking hard. It really is. Oh, here's Freddy. Let me just take a look here. Oh, yeah, sticks his in his ear. I hate the way he looks in this movie. Oh, I hate the way he looks in this movie. I just hate that his makeup looks bubblegummy, especially when he's playing the video game, which is coming up soon. I just can't stand it. Yeah, this is when he drops all the needles or something, or pins or whatever it is. Anyway, making movies is tough. It really is. And I crap on a lot of the crappy sequels, on this channel. But I do it. I'm blunt and I'm theatrical when I do it, obviously, because I like to entertain and I like to, be, sensational and not that I don't believe what I'm saying, I do. But I also, I get it. Look, making movies is tough. I can't, I just do not agree with those creative decisions, and just Freddy's a clown here. He's pretending to yell behind him and he's jumping around. Like, I feel like I'm watching Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Like, just switch this out with Bugs Bunny and Porky Pig or Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck, and it's the same fucking thing, and there's nothing remotely scary about this. It's just a carnival. He's just a carnival barker, and that's where the Freddy series gravitated towards. It moved away from, instead of keeping it scary, like there's several ways you can go when the subject matter is dreams, right? You can keep it very scary, or you can keep it surreal. Oh, yeah. Very, very scary or very surreal. And they went the surreal route, and then it became very sort of funhouse surreal when they sat down in the writer's room trying to think of what other sensational dream sequence can we, come up with next. It became like a House of Mirrors, and it's fine. It's fun. Like right now, I'm enjoying watching this kid, who's deaf, being attacked by, like, it's like the visuals are fun to watch, but and if that's your thing, that's great. But it does nothing for me. Like, once I've seen it once, I don't ever need to see it again for the rest of my life. Like, I don't need to watch this movie. After I watch it today, I couldn't care less if I ever saw it again. Now, will I see it again? Probably. But I couldn't care less if I ever did. Because there's nothing that brings me back to it. There's nothing that really brings, that wants me to revisit this emotional, like roller coaster and fear. And there's nothing here. It's just a cheap trick at a funhouse. There he is, going to drop all the nails? Is it nails or pins? Pins, I guess. Going to blow his head off, right? I think they make his head explode or something. Oh, he's okay. What the hell else does he do? He does something else. I forget what it is. He looks terrible. Robert looks great. Like, look at this. This is look at this. It's just, it's funny. Oh. All right. And he starts going like this, around. He looks ridiculous when he does this. Ooh, listen to that, though. That is nails on a chalkboard. It's pretty brutal. Why wouldn't he run? Why wouldn't this guy run? Maybe he can't run. I don't know. Darren Sand says, I'm traveling to London, to Leigh-on-Sea, where I live. Cool. On the way home from a work gig, very tired and cheesed off. Oh, no. Oh, yeah, there goes his head. His head exploded. Yeah, this is just so, like, what is this?
Nice hearing from you, Carlos.
Oh no, that's too bad. That's too bad, Darren. Well, hopefully, whatever you are cheesed off about resolves itself, or things get better the next couple of days. Because that's too bad. That's too bad. But you're traveling back and listening, tuning in from across the pond. That's awesome. Watching, of course, Freddy's Dead, the final nightmare. It's too bad it wasn't the final. Well, I guess it kind of was, because we got Freddy versus Jason, but that was, it really wasn't part of the canon. And then the remake in 2010, but I mean, so for all intents and purposes, it was the final nightmare. Same with Friday the 13th being the final Friday. Jason Goes to Hell. I know there was a 2009 remake. I'm just saying, in the original series, excluding Freddy vs. Jason, it was the final. Well, no, that's not true. We had Jason X. We had Jason X. I forgot about that shit show too. Holy Jesus. But I still think Jason Goes to Hell, the final Friday, is worse. Why would you be that close to your social worker? He wants to bang her. He totally does. He totally does. Why would you be talking that close? Look how close they're talking here. Look how close his face is to her face. Can you imagine? I mean, it'd be like this. So what are you doing? What's going on? Skip to Malou. Nothing strange here. Nothing strange here. This is totally a set. You can tell. It's a good set, though. The production design on every one of these movies, whether it's 1 through 6, the production design on these movies is fantastic. It's really, really, really well done. Nice hearing from you, Carlos, says David. Oh, you must be a bit behind me. I'm at 40 minutes, 41 seconds into the film. I'm at the scene where the, what's her face there? Freddy's daughter and the last kid on Elm Street, I guess it's him, are talking to this woman here. Fuck. Darren Sand says, did anyone see Invisible Man yet? Apologies if you've spoken about this. It would make a great 2-dude session. I have not seen it yet. I may be seeing it in the next couple of days, but I'm not 100% sure yet. But definitely, it would make a good 2-dudes episode. I don't know if Tony has seen it yet or not. It won't be this Monday, because this Monday, I'll let you guys know. This Monday, we're watching Scream 4. Scream 4 is this Monday. So that'll be fun. But I will check to see if he's seen it yet. I might be seeing it tomorrow. I'm not sure. Let's get out of here, man. Come on. Let's get the fuck out of here. I feel nothing when I watch this movie. Like, there's not even a moment. Like, usually in the bad movies, there's a moment where you're like, oh, that's a cool shot. Like, I mean, cool in the sense of, there's a lot of cool shots in this movie, but I mean, like, not from just a visual, but from like it gets you in the feels, right? It's like, ooh, yeah, like that. Oh, there's Freddy. There's Michael. There's Jason. I don't think there's any of that here. Here, of course, is Johnny Depp's cameo. He came back and made this little cameo here, which I think was so fucking pointless. Why? Why even do it? Why bother? Of course, I get that he's dreaming, but he wouldn't know who he is. This is so like, it's a good tune though. That's a good tune. It's so like, I feel like I'm watching a cartoon. It's a great piece of music. But that's not, I mean, this piece of music existed long before the movie did. So it's just a great piece of music on its own. Just sucks that it was using this fucking dog shit. Frank Riker says, did Freddy go to the same plastic surgeon as Dr. Loomis because his makeup is shit? Yep, you're probably right. His makeup is like, it looks like bubblegum. Wait for the scene where he's playing, I think it's coming up actually, where he's got like the Nintendo arm or so, the glove or something, and he's playing the control. Yeah, it's coming up here to say, look at this. Look at his makeup, especially when he goes, cool graphics. It's so like, it's just weird. Just seeing Robert Englund as Freddy playing a video game, killing kids. It's so lame. Look at his face. Look at the makeup. Oh, it's terrible. And this is nothing against Robert. Robert's doing the best he can with the shit that he's got.
Now I'm playing with power.
Now I'm playing with power. Wasn't that the Nintendo line? Wasn't that the line from Nintendo? Now I'm playing with power? See? Great graphics. I thought it was cool graphics, but it wasn't. It was great graphics. What the hell? It's just weird. It's just weird. It's weird. Frank Riker says Freddy breaks the fourth wall so much in this movie. He does. David says whoever did his makeup in this movie should never be allowed to make up again. Well, it looks like the makeup looks good. Like it's professionally done. It just looks, it pales in comparison to what they did have. Like it just looks too, he doesn't look scary. And he doesn't look scary primarily because of the way he's being lit, primarily because of the way that how much, and the way he's acting. He's acting like an idiot, like a cheese ball, Jacqueline McEwen says, yes, that was the Nintendo slogan. Now you're playing. That's what I thought, Jacqueline. Thank you so much for confirming that. I thought that's what it was. And of course, 1991, Nintendo was all the rage and moving into the Super Nintendo era very shortly. So, that makes sense. Why are they seeing him do that? Look how dumb this looks. Oh my God, I forgot. Listen to the sound effects and everything. This is literally a comedy. That's what this movie is. It's a comedy. It's not a horror movie. It's like it's not even like a house. Like Steve Miner's House from 1985 is a horror movie, but it's got some comedy in there, right? This isn't even that. This is worse than that. Oh my God. Oh, fuck. Tommy Ricknell says, has Robert expressed his feelings towards this movie? Yes. He doesn't trash it. He doesn't trash any of the movies that he's done, but he does recognize sort of the general consensus of the franchise. Like he will often say that the first one is the scariest, which he's, right. You know what I mean? I mean, I know some people will talk about 2 as well, but he's, for all intents and purposes, right? He's right. People will talk about, he says that 3 is sort of the fan favorite, which he's right. He talks about 6 as being the one that was just, it was too much. It was just really junk. Look at his face here when he's got like the glove. His face, the way he looks, so he looks like, I don't know, like he's fucking like Sloth from the Goonies' cousin or something. Boink, 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 boink. Oh my God, I forgot about all this. Look at this. What the hell am I watching? What is this? All you need in here is the Wilhelm scream. I mean, really, that's it. Oh my God. I feel like I'm watching an episode Oh my God, it's so bad. I feel like I'm watching an episode of some kids' Do you not feel like you're watching like an episode of like, again, I was a teenager by the time Are You Afraid of the Dark was a big thing. So I wasn't really watching it. But going back to the 80s, there was a Canadian TV show called Today's Special in the 80s. And it did air on, I believe it aired on Nickelodeon in the States as well. But I feel like I'm watching some like Disney Channel kids TV show. You know, there's a lot of like effects and there's this creepy monster that they got to fight. And that's I don't think he should kick him in the balls. Sorry for that show. But that's what it feels like. Like certain scenes feel like I'm watching a cheesy kids TV show. It's terrible. This movie is terrible. Darren Sand says, I was a projectionist when this film came out. I remember people being confused about the 3D moments. Nobody got it. Most people had fallen asleep by the time they were told to put the glasses on. Oh. This movie came out when I was 12. I remember it coming out. Fuck. Terrible movie. David says the kids are trying to open up the door of that booth to get Freddy. In the past movies, the kids were running away from him. All the kids need to be, all that needs to be said. That's true too. That's true. It's just like it's like I'm watching a fun kids TV show. That's what I feel like I'm watching. That's totally Los Angeles. 100%. That is definitely when he opens the window and he looks out across the street. 100% LA, like probably West Hollywood. Yeah, like doesn't it look at the effects? Everything's so cartoony in this. Everything's so digital. It's so video game. That's what this is. Like everything, all the effects are very video game-like. It's terrible. Jacqueline McEwen says, oh my God, I remember that. Today's Special was on Nickelodeon. Yes. Well, Today's Special was shot here in Toronto. It was a Canadian TV show. All the actors were Canadian. And it was so successful here that they also sold it to the States and to Nickelodeon. And so it aired down there as well. But yeah, it was a Canadian show. And it was one of my favorite shows in the early to mid 80s. For sure, as a kid. And I mean, obviously it's not quite like that, but you know how they had like funky little things that would happen and, you know, little things that Sam, the security guard would go on adventures and things like that. Like it feels kind of like, or, you know, Are You Afraid of the Dark? Again, I was a little old for Are You Afraid of the Dark, but I'm aware of the kid kind of adventure. It feels like that. It feels like a video game, like we're watching some kid's show on Disney Plus or something. Like it's terrible. This movie's terrible. It's terrible. It just is. Darren Sand says, Frank, hardly anybody saw the movie in the theater. It was a total flop in the UK. Yeah. Good on those Brits. They know quality. Well, not everybody, but there's nothing scary about this. Do you think I'm your daddy? Wrong! Your daughter? It's totally been ADR'd. Can tell by the quality. Like, doesn't this feel, there's nothing scary about this. Yeah, it's like Ernest Saves Elm Street. That's what I'm watching. Ernest Saves Elm Street. Like, it feels like fucking dumb. It's just so bad. Great visuals, great kills, great stuff. You know what I mean? I mean, when I say great kills, I mean they're cool to watch. But that doesn't make the movie good. That doesn't make them cool, like in and of themselves, I mean, like in terms of next to the narrative. It's just, they're just isolated little cool moments. But everything else is trash. It's just the effects and the mood, and there's no suspense, there's no creepiness, there's no ominous presence from Freddy. He's just he's a video game character. Look at his face. Fuck, it's like the best line in the whole movie. You forgot where you came from, kid, but I know where you're going. When that's your creepiest moment in the whole movie, and that's not creepy, but when that is your creepiest moment in the whole movie, you got a fucking problem. Darren Sand says, Freddy's Revenge was small in the UK theatrically, but huge on VHS. Very cool. Tabitha Short says, you can tell he had a pillow under his shirt. Yes. Oh, he did. Oh, he had a pillow under his shirt. Oh, yeah, you noticed that, right? This was somebody's idea of, hey, let's create a movie where like all the graphics are just, really cool. And, it's just like all like the digital stuff. And yeah, let's do that. And it's crap. It's crap. How much more of this crap? About half an hour, 35 minutes more. Oh my goodness. What else can we read on Freddy's Dead here? Let's see. What else did they say here? Marketing. As a publicity stunt for both Freddy's Dead and the comic storylines that were still being released around the film's cinematic release, New Line Cinema held a mock funeral for Freddy Krueger at Hollywood Forever Cemetery. I've been there. Been to Hollywood Forever Cemetery. Very nice. In Los Angeles, including attendants from the film series such as Alice Cooper, Leslie Dean, Sean Greenblatt, Ricky Dean Logan, Breckin Meyer, Toby Sexton, Lisa Zane, Lisa Wilcox, and Whit Hartford, Andy Mangles, and Rachel Talalay. I think I'm getting her name wrong, but maybe that's it. Were among others present. On encouragement by New Line Cinema, the Los Angeles mayor at the time, Tom Bradley, declared September 13th to be Freddy Krueger Day, but this movie was heavily criticized by glorifying a mass murder, with Robert Englund adding that we have to separate crime reality from movie escapism. Escapism. Yeah, well, it's great. Fucking shit movie that is. Where are you guys here? Oh, there you are. Hey guys, how's it going? You are the daughter of Freddy Krueger! And you don't even know it. So you're gonna have a flashback, remembering yourself as a little girl, so we can have a chance to see Robert Englund without his makeup. We also see him without his makeup in part 5? 4 or 5? I don't think it was 3. And we see him without his makeup in part 2, believe it or not. There's a trivia for you guys. In the chat room, where in part 2 do you see Robert Englund without his makeup? In Elm Street 2. You guys should get this. You guys rock. You guys will get this. Mother! Does anybody say that? Mother! I just say, Mom. Mom. David says, school bus driver opening. That is correct. That's correct. That's him. That's definitely him. Yep. And I don't believe it was going. That's right. Jacqueline McEwen gets it too. I don't think it was going to be him. If memory serves, I think it was going to be somebody else. And then it was Robert. I'm hazy on the details there, but it was something like that. It was something like that. Anyways, I'm 57 minutes and 35 seconds into the movie now. We just have Freddy's daughter here looking over an adoption notice as lightning flashes outside. Who are they? I was adopted? I have to know. Who were they, mother? This is the Nancy moment with her mother moment. Like, this is that kind of like, that moment. Except in the original, it's all about, tell me who Freddy Krueger is. This one's, tell me who I am. You were adopted, bitch.
You're adopted, bitch!
That's all this movie needs right now, just something like that. Tabitha Short says, Bob Shea is in the bar scene, right? Yes, Tabitha, that is correct. Oh, yeah, all day. But now remember, for years and years, the writer was like, gay subtext? What are you talking about? What? No, that wasn't intentional. What are you talking about? Right. Okay, right here, at 58 minutes and 30 seconds into the movie, you heard the classic Elm Street, whatever it is. I can't do it. It's terrible. But you know what I'm talking about. You heard it. It was like, and it gave me kind of goosebumps as I was sitting here. Look, I was like, oh, there it is. You know, like, where the fuck is that shit? Well, I get why it's not here. That's the most Elm Street thing in this entire movie. The rest of the movie's garbage. The whole movie's dog shit. I'm going to have a dream now about my past, and I've never had this dream before. It's buried in your subconscious. Robert Englund. We need to talk, Loretta. Go inside, honey. He was a child murderer, folks. And like I've often said, I mean, you don't need to say that Freddy was a child molester. I know that they explored that thing later, and I think even in the new one he might have been. I can't remember. But you don't ever need to say that. All you have to say is that he's a child murderer. Because when you are a child murderer, when you have an obsession with children, it should just be left to assume that you probably go there. You know, nobody has an obsession with kids, but doesn't diddle the kids. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, I think it should just be self-explanatory that if he's a child murderer, he probably has some sort of sick, twisted thing in that realm too. You don't need to say that he's a child molester. It should just be assumed because he's a child murderer. He has an obsession with children. Why? You know what I mean? So I think I don't think you need to say it. I don't think you need to say it. And let's be honest, they couldn't say it anyway because children like me in the 80s thought he was fucking cool. And if they came out and said he was a child molester, I mean, that wouldn't be cool, man. You'd have trouble selling masks and gloves and movies and DVDs, you know, especially way back in, you know, the time these movies were coming out. So they said he's a child murderer. But I think it's self-explanatory to assume that he's probably diddling. Now, maybe not. We don't ever see it. It's never said right outright. But let's be serious here, right? You know what I mean? I mean, he's, you know, anytime somebody has a weird, unusual obsession with children, you know, that's very strange. So. Every town has an Elm Street. This is where he's going to say it. Every town has an Elm Street. He's going to say something like that. It just pops up. It is. It's like a video game. It's like a video game. Oh, my goodness. Darren Sand says, I wish we had those Elm Street 2 buses in the UK. You've all seen the useless, huge buses we have in the UK. That scene would have never worked with a huge red bus in London. That's funny. Oh, you mean, what color are the school buses in the UK, Darren? Here in North America, well, in the States and here in Canada, they look identical. I mean, you look at a school bus in the States and you look at one here in Canada, it's the exact same. The yellow school bus. Probably the same company that makes them, probably. But what do they look like in the UK? I know that there's the red double-decker buses you obviously see in, London, but what do school buses look like in the UK? Sure, I guess I could just Google it, but I got Darren here, so why not? Darren's gonna tell me. Of course, get the fat ugly guy in there, of course. The fat ugly abusive guy. That's why he was cast. He's like, you know what? You're fat, you're ugly, and we're going to make you the fat, ugly, abusive guy in a wife beater and suspenders. How do you feel about that? I'm in. Pay me and I'll do it. All right, let's do it. Tab the Short says, I hate this scene. Why? Because of the fat, ugly guy in a wife beater and suspenders? Well, yeah. Yeah, it worked, didn't it? It worked. Come on, Tracy. Yeah, Tracy, yeah! It's really Freddy, isn't it? Come on, Freddy. I will say there are some awful parents out there. There really are. For all you good parents out there, you guys rock. Because there's a lot of shitty parents out there. Frank says, I switched the audio to Spanish. Maybe I'll learn something while watching crap. I wonder if I can do that. Of course, it probably wouldn't be Spanish where I am. It'd probably be French. I don't know if I can do that. Might not. I don't think it gives me an option, actually. Oh, right. I'm watching it on YouTube. You're probably watching it on DVD. Right. I'm watching a video game. It's brightly lit. The production design is great. Right? It might be your dream, but it's my rules. Oh, boy. I like the way she woke her. I liked the way she woke herself up there, though. That was fun. Burning herself over the stove. I like that. That's very sort of like what you might do in a situation like that. This guy here is like he's Kincaid all grown up now or something. Obviously, we know he's not, but. Tab of the Short says, so Dave, you actually paid to watch this crap when you owned the DVD? No, I'm watching it. I already have it in a library from a long time ago. I purchased it a long time ago. So it was already there. So I figured I would just do that. I didn't purchase it today. It's from a few years ago. I purchased it for some reason. I forget what I purchased it for. I have them all. I have them all digitally done as well. But I also have them all on Blu-ray because of the special features. Yeah, Freddy's doing cartwheels. Yeah, when Freddy's riding broomsticks and doing cartwheels and playing video games, it's over. I mean, it's when if you're in the writing room writing something like this, it's over, folks. I mean, that's just it. It's completely, it's over. There is absolutely, unequivocally, nothing scary about this movie. There's nothing even really remotely, I want to revisit it, even remotely interesting. Is it fun to watch if it's your first time or it's on TV and you just want to? Sure. Oh, he's giving some exposition here about the other movies. They tried to bury me. They tried holy water. Because just listening to what he's saying. He's got the sweater, ripped the sweater. It's 11:55. Interesting. Tommy Ricknell says, try to watch Beverly Hills Cop dubbed in German. That'd be fun. Frank Reiger says, actually, Dave, the whole movie is scary. Yes. From a certain point of view, you are indeed correct. You are indeed correct, my man. Whew, man. Where are we here? We are an hour and 9 minutes into the movie. What's his face there? Just said if he can come out, he can bleed. He can bleed. Doesn't the movie end with his daughter putting like a stick of dynamite in his mouth or something and his head explodes? And he says something like, he quips and says something ridiculous right before it happens. It's something like that. It's something like that. You got to take me with you, man. You got to take me with you. David says yes, and then he says kids. Oh, that's right. Huh. Kids. Like, he should have said, huh, well, I got paid. She's going in. She's going into the dream, folks. She's got her 3D glasses. Why the fuck would she need, what the hell would she need 3D glasses for? Here we go. She's got her 3D glasses. The old school 3D glasses. Remember those? I saw a couple of 3D movies back in the day. I think it was an animated movie I saw that was 3D. Had those cardboard 3D glasses. And if James Cameron, he's talking about revitalizing and changing the way we experience 3D. Personally, I don't. I mean, it's not that, look, Avatar was a visual sensation. I mean, the 3D was beautifully, orchestrated and presented. But then, of course, because it made so much money at the box office, now they're just releasing movies that were never shot in 3D to be 3D, and it was just dumb. But of course, he's talked about having 3D where you don't have to wear glasses. And that is really interesting. He's a visionary. He's like a Lucas in that sense. So now I don't think that technology would be ready for Avatar 2, but it's certainly something that he's very interested in. And that would be really cool. Like just watching this, like as she's approaching this doorway with the snakes and the heads all talking to her, it's cool stuff, right? The visuals are cool. They're cool. And then of course we see his face. That's a terrible face. And here we are. We're like traveling through this, the door shuts and it's like, I feel like I'm on like a ride at Disney World. I feel like, I'm on one of those rides where like, you're going it down and you turn a corner and, there's shit floating all around you. And this is purely for the 3D. Like you look at this is purely for the audience and 3D. You don't need this. They thought to themselves, hey, we're going to have the last half of the movie in 3D. So let's create crazy visuals to please the audience. The problem is that who fucking cares? It doesn't do anything. It's too gimmicky. See, Avatar, it wasn't a gimmick. It wasn't it was part of it was so good. It was so good. So well done. Like you can watch Avatar not in 3D, which of course you do when you watch it at home or on TV, and it's just as spectacular. The 3D in Avatar just complements it. It just makes things pop a bit more. It's not one of those like old school 3Ds where you see something like, hey, you want some water? Here you go. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Thank you. It's not like old school 80s 3D. It's incredibly well done. Oh, she's back in her classroom, I think is where we are here. Tabitha says, good night, Dave and everyone. Austin's bedtime. Good night, Tabitha. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. Really appreciate it, Tabitha. Have a great night and great rest of your weekend. Oh, right. He's looking at Robert Englund as a little kid. Yeah, killing children. Or animals, excuse me. Son of 100 maniacs. Son of 100 maniacs. Son of 100 maniacs. Son of 100 maniacs. Son of 100. Yeah, the teachers are in on it. The teachers are in on it. Son of 100 maniacs. Take that, you fucker. Oh, yeah. Alice Cooper, ladies and gentlemen. Like, I get that they're like, they're giving you backstory. They're giving you all this exposition, showing this flashback. I mean, this is the final movie. They got to wrap it up now, right? They got to wrap it up. They got to, show you everything. He was abused. It's almost like they're trying to make you feel empathetic for him. And I just don't think it's necessary. I think he should have just come from a good home. He came from a good home. That's scarier in some ways. Like, listen, are there kids out there that grow up in shitty homes and end up these types of people? Yes, of course. And is their upbringing a large part of the reason why they're shitty people? Yes. But there are people that also grow up in good homes that turn out to be awful human beings. Listen to this. Look at this. Look how cheesy this is. He's standing there in the middle of this room on fire. I want it all. And fuck. Oh, man, I can't take it. 15 minutes to go. Fascinating. Sounds like two people having sex. Oh, he's beating her. Sounded like something else there for a minute, folks. So, yeah, I mean, he's a wife beater. He's an abuser. He's an awful man. A very awful man. Don't worry, baby. Your mommy's just asleep. That kid's a great actor. I really believe that child was crying. That's the best moment of the movie right there. That's it. That's the best moment in the movie right there, folks. About a minute and 16 seconds in, that child crying. Totally believe she was crying. Totally believe that she was scared. She's got him. Look at his head. Look at his head getting all bigger and wider. Looks like he's growing horns like the devil. That's cool. It's a cool effect. Cool effect. I like it. Pretty cool. Like how he's growing. Again, great visuals. Like all these visuals are cool. They're just in really shitty movies. The writing is terrible and the direction is just, yeah. No, he's here somewhere. He's fucking around here. I know he is. I can feel it. Let's go. Maybe he's in the basement. Maybe he's in the basement waiting for us. Here, I got shotguns in here. Or no, what she got? Yeah, she's got, what is it, guns? No. Oh, they're just like tools and shit. I put that away. You're going to need it in a minute. So I'm an hour and 18 seconds, an hour and 18 minutes and 25 seconds into the movie. Only about 10 minutes left to go here. We're in the third act, coming to the climax. Freddy's daughter's about to wreck shop. Come on, Freddy. Come to me, you bitch. He's lying there without his makeup. Daddy? I'm going to lie here without my makeup to gain your empathy. Oh, fuck off. Well, there goes the glove right at the camera, so people can go, ooh, 3D. This is terrible. It's absolutely terrible. You guys still watching, or are you guys done? I'm almost done here.
Where's the key?
I don't know! That was funny for some reason.
Where's the key?
I don't know! Bitch of a mother. Come on, Dad. You fucking son of a bitch. Tommy Ricknell says, this is even worse than I remembered it. Like, there's nothing scary about it. Like, there's not even a moment where you're like, okay. Except for that one moment where you heard the Elm Street theme. You know what I mean? For like, what, 8 seconds or something like that. Oh, man. Look how clean we're seeing him. Like, I feel like I'm in the makeup room with him and I just finished putting on his makeup. I can see his eyes so clearly and can see everything just so... She bites his nose. Strangle her, Freddy! Strangle her! Fucking get your... Fucking son of a bitch. The fuck's going on here? This is like a comedy. I remember when we used to hold hands as a kid. I didn't like it then either. It is. I feel like I'm watching a comedy. It feels very like a kid's thing. Frank Riker says, Dave, next time have a selection of paint drying. Frank, my man. I should have a selection of paint drying. I love it. Oh my God. Like, this is just... I'm going to sleep well tonight. Oh, here it comes. It's coming up. It's coming up. We're coming up to it. Yeah, she's that accurate. She can throw all these tools. She's amazing. Yeah, we got to see him being tortured and, like, you know, fucking, yeah, gotta give something for the fans to feel like it's happening. Yeah, this is terrible. Terrible. David says, so there's no way Rachel Talalay got to make another movie ever, right? I don't know. Did she? Did she? Wasn't she? I think she goes way back to the beginning. Oh, yes, she did. Yeah, and we'll talk about that in a second here. Here it comes. She's going to stab him in the stomach. Wouldn't it be great if she said, help yourself, fucker? And right into the stomach, like what Freddy did to that guy in Elm Street 2? That'd be funny. Makes no sense.
I didn't say to help yourself.
Is it Father's Day? She says Happy Father's Day. Is it Father's Day that day? I don't know. Or is that just a line? Okay, so it wasn't in his mouth. I thought it was in his mouth for some reason. It was in his stomach. Whoa, this was bad. Freddy's dead. Oh my God. And then you just end the movie there. Well, I know I'm in shock. Like I'm in shock. Yeah, Frank's right. The end credits are good though. Yeah. The end credits are pretty good. Seeing all the better movies. And the shitty ones, but the good ones too. I'm noticing they're not showing a lot of 2. Oh, no. There we go. There's 2. Well, holy shit. Wow, folks. Wow. So that was Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare. In Elm Street Part 6, Freddy's Dead from 1991. Holy snapping crap. What a big pile of crap that was. And David, yes, she actually did. She directed Ghost in the Machine from 1993, which actually is a movie that I actually quite liked, starring Karen Allen. Now, I haven't seen the movie in a long time, but I remember when I did watch it, I actually quite liked it. I don't know if you remember that, but it's a movie from 1993 called Ghost in the Machine, starring Karen Allen. Karen Allen, of course, best known for Marion Ravenwood from Raiders of the Lost Ark. But yeah, she directed that movie. She also directed Tank Girl in 95, The Borrowers in 97, A Tale of Two Wives, The Wind in the Willows from 2006, Hannah's Law from 2012, The Dorm in 2014, and Unclaimed in 2006. Also known as released as On the Farm. Oh, it was a Canadian TV film. Interesting. Was she Canadian? I don't think she was. No, she wasn't. Oh, but she's also a University of British Columbia film professor. So that's why. There's the Canadian connection there. She works at the University of British Columbia as a film professor. Very cool. Very cool. Well, yeah, not a big fan, Rachel, of that movie. Again, I don't believe that you set out to make a bad movie. Nobody does set out to make a bad movie, certainly, but it's just not very good. I just didn't like the movie overall. But I really did, from what I remember, I really enjoyed her Ghost in the Machine movie from 1993, starring Karen Allen. So interesting indeed. But yeah, that's how the cookie crumbles, folks. That is how the cookie crumbles. David says, thanks, Dave. I never saw that movie. The Ghost in the Machine, you mean? Yeah, check it out. From what I remember, it was pretty cool. I don't think it's going to blow you away, but from what I remember, I thought it was kind of cool. Yeah, interesting. Frank says, I'm speechless for the first time. Yeah. I was there for a moment too. I don't think I've been that speechless before. So Fascinating indeed. And with a tagline like "They save the best for," I don't know how you can take yourself seriously printing that poster. I have no idea how you can, anyway. Anyways, that's going to do it for me, folks, here on Saturday Movie Night. I want to thank you for tuning in, and of course, all the patrons from level 2 and 3 that tuned in throughout the hour and a half here. Thank you so much. Thank you for your continued support each and every month here on the channel. And I'll be back, Monday night on Two Dudes and Some Bullshit. Tony Michael and I talking Scream 4. Make sure you tune in to that, because that's going to be a doozy. So, that is going to do it for me. Hope you guys are doing well, and have a great rest of your weekend. Frank and David and Tommy and Darren Sands, if you're still watching. And, Tabitha left because she had to go. Jacqueline McEwen, have a great rest of your weekend, folks. All right, I will talk to you guys soon. Cheers.